They just told us after we have graduated University of Jos that we will not serve. Let me give anybody
public administrator and get a tech job. That is the message. You could be anything and get a tech job. So,
Real boss.
Welcome everybody to Career Boss Podcast. My name is Tayo, and on this podcast we have Kelechi and Regina. Hi everybody.
Hi Tayo.
Okay, so today we're talking about remote jobs and how we can get remote jobs. So I will start with you, Regina. So what's your take on remote jobs and all? Like just
I think basically the whole idea about remote jobs, and thank you, Tayo, for the question. I think the whole idea about remote jobs started when COVID hit the world. And I will not say started, but it became more popular around 2020 when we're all forced to stay in the house and there was no choice. People had to work from their homes and all of that. And technological tools to aid working became available, like Zoom, and all of those things became more popular. So from that, you can also see that basically things remote job in what it means that you're able to work from your location outside the main office that you're supposed to be working in. So for instance, your main organizational office might be in the US and you are able to work in Nigeria. So it means that the main office is in the US, but you can still work from anywhere around the world, right? And this is basically made possible via different technologies that have now, aid to making remote job easy from anywhere around the world. So it's more like one of the most important things you require would be internet and constant electricity as much as possible, and then be able to access the tools that are available for you to work with and connect with your colleagues. Yeah. So just work from anywhere.
Thank you for that. Casey, so from your perspective, do you think businesses prefer remote jobs or physical? What would you
Okay, so I would probably go to that question from a CEO's point of view, right? So if I'm a CEO, it's not negotiable. I would prefer on-site, my staff to resume on-site, right?
Why?
Because I want to be able to either macromanage or micromanage my staff effectively. However, there's what they call KPIs. All right. So with your key performance index, you don't need to necessarily bring a staff to the office before you can manage the staff properly. Do you understand? Because all I just need to, if I have you now in my team working for me in my company, I have Regina working in my company, all I need to do is give Regina key deliverables and say, Regina, your first quarter for this year, this is what you're going to do. Whether you're at home sleeping and you get the job done, just get the job done. Because working in a team is like it's teamwork. Everybody has their own role to play. When I used to be in Nigeria, there's something I used to say, because some people just feel like tech people, sometimes you work remotely, sometimes you do this, you do. And I told them one thing. As a tech professional, you are not paid to necessarily clock in by 8 and leave by 5.
True.
Not that you can't, but then your performance is not measured by clocking in by 8 o'clock.
Very true.
Your performance is measured by delivering on your responsibility, your tasks and everything that you're supposed to do, either as a consultant or a regular worker, whatever it is you're doing. So if I come by 8 and I can't solve problems and I leave by 5, and somebody just comes and in 3 minutes solves the problem and go, who is the hero?
The problem solver.
The problem solver. But then most organizations, especially in this side of the world, most people are beginning to accept remote working because it's like Regina said, the emphasis on remote working started from the COVID era. Okay, so during the COVID, people had reasons to work, and that's why I say a lot of businesses folded up in that period because most people did not understand how you could work from home and still make money, even for the company. All right, so I was one of the organizations that I was supporting back in Nigeria during COVID. They didn't shut down, they didn't even reduce salaries because they were still working. People were still submitting bids. People were still doing their just do your stuff and go back home. Wear your nose mask, do your stuff and go back home. So there could be situations where if you don't have a remote working policy in your organization, when the business have issues, right, it crashes. So that brings us to people, the business managers, and what they call business continuity. So in business continuity, you should put policies on ground that can also sustain the businesses in eventuality of a risk or once something happening along the line. So what if it's your best staff? Maybe at a point he got incapacitated, maybe accident or whatever it is, and he's your best staff. You know that this guy is good or this lady is good. Now because maybe he or she can't move temporarily, are you saying you lay the person off?
Oh, fair point.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, if I'm thinking as a CEO, I would just like before analyze, I just say no, I prefer on-site. But then if you want to be more realistic and if you want to be more decisive, remote working is cool. It's cool.
But then going back to your on-site, preferring on-site, have you thought of the fact that you incur more costs when you're on-site versus virtually? Because like electricity, utilities, you have to actually get the physical location, rent, you have to cater, let's say, feeding for staffs and like wealth development. All those costs actually add up to a significant amount. Don't you agree?
Yes.
So you rather incur that?
So if you're looking at it from the businessman's point of view, right? Every business have budgets. Okay, yes. So if those things are factored in your budget and you are looking at your income and it's less than your expenditure and you think you want to float your business that way, it's fine. Remember, not every business is cut out for remote kind of job. For instance, take these guys, the hoteliers, the club houses and the rest of them. So some business are people-centered business, meaning they need people to come around for them to make sales and pay staff and do whatever it is they want to do. So people in that bracket of business, hospitality business and the rest of them, they have more worries or more issues to handle in that particular area. Okay, but then remote working, like you said, why do you want to spend so much money on office rent, bills, tax, blah blah blah, when you can just float everybody remotely and they're happy? So imagine before the COVID, when you tell people that you do trainings, for instance, take the training business. We do trainings online. Everybody's no, I prefer the physical office. They just want to. People just do not understand that. Hey, this is 2020. You need to wake up. You don't need to see me physically in your class standing. What are you coming to the class to have a whatever of my perfume? You want to send you?
No. Let me stop you there. The thing is that, right, before I started working remotely, I realized that there are actually skills that you need to have to be able to be efficient doing anything remotely. Because naturally, seeing people around you kind of have a way of getting you motivated one way or the other. So if, for instance, you go, let me use the training part you spoke about, you go for training, right? And you're not even in the mood to do anything. And you see that someone seated close to you is doing all the examples. To some extent, be like, if you're not looking, you like, let me even try something. But working remotely means that you have to practice what is called self-discipline. It means that whether somebody is with you or not, you must do what you have to do.
True.
So, and not everybody has that culture in them, especially that many people, including the organization, is still illustrating these remote practices to see that it is more efficient. You know what I mean? So when they say they still want to have that in-person, it's more like, I have tried this remote thing. It's not working for me. Let me just go to the class. Maybe when I'm seeing somebody, it will enter my head better. You know what I mean?
True.
So this remote thing, as much as it's interesting, it comes with its different challenges and the things that you as an individual have to learn yourself. I've ever wondered, of all the online courses that we have today in this world where we have online courses everywhere, top organizations are bringing out courses for free, including MIT, Harvard, and people still want to go in class. That tells you that most people, I don't have research on this one, but I think that many people would basically still prefer to sit in class where the opportunity presents itself.
Okay, this thing you said now, it just made me remember something somebody told me some years ago. So we were talking about this MBA, Lagos Business School was actually where we were into. So I was like, what's the hype of this? Everybody wants to do an MBA and all that. And he told me that I should not mind most of these people. That the whole idea of doing the MBA, right, is just for the networking.
Yes.
So now, if let's now say we are doing the MBA now online, that has taken like 80% value out of doing that MBA.
You are getting it. I was going to say that as a Nigerian, maximizing your money well. Because before you pay such a huge amount of money, you would think about the values.
You know what you want to.
It's not just the book.
It's not just the book.
Your network is your net worth. So technically, it's important.
True.
So the only thing is that I think that no matter how we want to run away from this whole thing or want to feel like, hey, we still have to, whatever we do, we still have to provide that in-person thing. Let people see that they're able to see themselves, touch themselves, feel, talk to someone, because there are several challenges that can come from remote work. In fact, one of the huge things I've seen online is basically isolation and depression from working remotely, because especially if you're working in an organization where you don't get to see yourself. Some people, if you go on Twitter, you see people saying that I've been working with this team for over 2 years and this is the first time we are seeing each other. Do you know what that means? So it comes with there's so many psychological effects this whole thing about remote comes with. And so I think it's important to have that. If you have an opportunity to do hybrid where you can do remote and still go and see your people one way or the other, I think that's what I would still tell people to do, However, if the money is your focus, it's not seeing people, there are two different focuses.
That is where I belong.
Yes, if the money that is your focus.
I can network myself. I'm my own.
Brother, sister, sit down in your house and you don't collect money. You don't.
No, it's true. If the money is your focus, you find your network.
I don't understand. You look for friends. Go to your neighbor's house. Go to your neighbor's house. Go to the gym.
But there's no neighbor.
So many things to do to get yourself.
Get network. True.
When you have a break in your work, take a walk around, say hello to people, come back to your seat. But one thing is, don't just sit down there all day. Find activities to do to get you excited. So your priorities will determine if you can, survive it or not. But remote is definitely the future. It is now and it is the future. And this is the word.
So I think I want to ask, since you were talking about remote work and physical location. So for example, you said take a walk. Do you know you can walk the streets, especially not Nigeria? You can walk the streets, you will not say hi to anybody, and you will not, or you don't even know your neighbor, especially if you are abroad. So in those situations, what do you do?
If you are abroad, I think taking a walk first is not to see people, is to help your body. to
No,
be
let's
okay.
say you're walking, you're taking
No,
a
no.
walk
First,
to
we need to
find
establish. We need to establish the essence of taking it. Case is laugh. You say today. We need to establish
Now
first the
you
benefit.
bring that leg now. Tie your con dey ask
We need
me.
to establish the benefit of taking a walk first. The benefits of taking a walk
It's
is
health
first
first.
to you than the people you are looking to see outside.
no, you have the
Consider
gym.
that if you take a walk when you're working remotely, you are stretching your legs, you're stretching your hands, you are having a breath of fresh air, good thoughts, and all of that. That is very important to your well-being, and it's not to be taken for granted. You can't
True.
sit all day while you're working remotely. Now, going to the other question of not seeing anybody. I stay in Sweden, yeah. You Kelechi stay in the UK. If you go out of my house now, before you get to the train station, you might not find anybody, especially during working hours. Because here, during working hours, you hardly find people out. You only find the older ones that are retired outside, even in stores. You start finding people around after work hours, 5, 6, like that. So look for communities, get yourself into communities. It can be church community, it can be gym, dance group. There are so many ways you can get yourself involved with people, that can help you. But the fact of taking a walk is not for you to go and find people. It's first to help your body to be okay. If you see people why taking a walk, why not? But that shouldn't stop you from taking a walk, because I think it's very important, especially if you're working remotely. It's very, very important to. I think somebody had I read it somewhere, I can't remember, some rules to working remotely, and they have some different hours where they expect you to stand up, do some exercise, do some like for instance, my office, there are in between work yoga that you should do before you come back to work. So all of these practices help to keep your mind sane, healthy, and mental health. I think that's
That
what is
one is
really
this
now.
our health yoga is abroad though. It's not because even over here we have that practice too. Sometimes the boys will just take a walk, around 1 or 2 p.m. just move around the facility, and so because you are in countries that really care about health and all that, they know how these things work. So they have this kind of policies that permit, if you have the time, you have your break time, so you can use your break time to do these things. But then I can't remember if there's any company I know in Nigeria that they take a walk, unless you want to take a walk out of the office and close from there.
Just when you're going, go home.
From work, you go home. Alright, Tayo.
Okay, so back to you, KC. Are there different types of remote jobs, and what are they, and how can we, the onlookers or the finders, find one?
Okay, so for remote jobs, I would say the different types of remote jobs can come in 2 types. Like, am I saying 2 types or two kinds? One, if it's by location. If it's by location, it means you could be in Canada. A company can be recruiting in Canada and they say it's a remote job, but they want people that are applying for that job to be in Canada too. So if the company is in Ottawa, you can be applying from maybe Ontario or somewhere else, but they want it to be in Canada. While there are also some people that do not mind anywhere in the world that you are, you can actually apply for the job. Okay, so that's basically like how you can get remote job. Then there's another type of remote job that one is in terms of contract, right? So we have freelancers. Okay, so if you're a freelancer, all you do is you go online, you look for a remote opportunity, you get the job done for them, they pay you, you go. So that one is like pay as you go, that kind of, so that's a freelance kind of remote job. Then you have the second type, which is contract remote job. The contract type of remote job is most of those contract jobs are project tied. They tie them to a specific project. So if an organization, right, maybe an organization is a regular operations organization, and for some reason they have a project, they need to spool in people from different realms, to come and implement that particular project. If there's a skill they do not have in-house, they can put it, and they feel like it's something you can do remotely. They'll put it out there. Wherever you are, if you apply for the job and you get the interview done with, and they bring you on board, they just tell you that the duration of this contract is 1 year. So you are just with them for 1 year. And within that 1 year, you're probably not allowed to work somewhere else because you are not a freelance. You are not in a contract kind of remote job. Then the third one is, of course, the permanent staff. So if you're permanent in a remote job, I guess that's the one everybody wants and everybody prefers. So that's how we categorize remote jobs, actually.
Okay, fair enough. Regina, back to you. So, if any situation where you have to go to work physically, how do you tell your boss you want to work remotely or hybrid? You're mute.
Yeah, I was on mute. I think that every organization have their policies that you should follow to how they expect you to work. And I don't think this is more like a one-fit-all idea. So for instance, there is a binding contract that you sign that determines how you should work, right? However, if you work in a place where their contract is flexible, and I know that most around here, we don't really have that kind of flexible ways where they would come back to what they told you before and change it, except there is a pandemic again. That way they will not say, maybe there's a disruption in the society that will have to make everybody, bend their rules, right? But if that is not happening, they cannot come and tell the case in that case, we hired you remotely, but now come to the office. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So yes. There's an awareness. I know my rights, they know their rights, we both know our rights, and we are working towards to see that things. But if you are working in a place where they don't mind, you can have such conversation, then you can meet your boss and give him reasons. And also, I think it also in that case, it not depends on how your work has been. You know what I mean? So if you are somebody that you don't even used to do the work well before, you now go and meet a Kelechi that and say, "Oga, I want to start coming."
Before you start the talk, I've answered you. No.
Do you understand? And if you are somebody that you need people to tell you everything to do, you are not. How do they call that?
What do we call it?
You don't take ownership. You're not
You're not self-driven. Of course, you get a no, right? Because they know that this was us. It's finished. It's finished.
True.
So, in most cases, I think look at what your job contract says. See what the policies of your organization says. If it allows this, fine. If it doesn't, stick to it. Or look for something else while you are where you are, if really remote is something you want to do. But what is important is look at your contract and try to also, I think one of the first thing I tell people is I think if you are the one, you are the oga. And you do like this, always try to look at how you would feel before you pass it on to the next person.
True.
Fair enough. Back to you, Kelechi. So, what sites and platforms would you recommend for people looking for remote jobs?
We have a couple of sites actually. So some people, when they want remote jobs, they go to the regular sites, right? The Monsters and the rest of them. The Indeed too is a mix. They do the remote jobs and they do on-site job adverts. But there are specific sites that are way tailored for just remote jobs, right? On the top of that list is flex jobs. You have Upworks. You have we work remotely. You have justremote.co. We have dynamite jobs, right? You have solid gigs. So these guys are all remote platforms where you go there, any job, and they are legit jobs, not the kind of ones, the kind of jobs and let's don't call names.
And there's also remote, just to add to the list before it moves away from the list. There's also remote.co. There's also LinkedIn, where you could on the search bar, you just go to jobs and type remote jobs. You also get valid jobs as well. So you can continue.
So, but then people also need to understand that these jobs, that you want remote jobs. You see, okay, that's why we have career boards, right? An average person wants a remote job, but there's a big question: do you have the skill or what it takes to want to do a remote job? Right? So you could have a remote job. It mustn't necessarily be tech. It's just that majority of those kind of jobs are tech initiated kind of jobs. But then you could be a writer. You could be a column editor. So you could be a social media handler. You could be anything. You could be a content creator. You could be anything for somebody, and it's a remote job, right? So they may be not core IT, but then you're looking at the percentage. Like if somebody come and say, what's the number of people right now that will get direct entry into the university? And they say, okay, we're like 5 million, and they say everybody read. There's hope for direct entry. And I ask for the number, and they tell me it's just 5 out of 5 million. Even if I'm that intelligent and that brilliant, I will not waste my energy. This is not about fate. This is just about, I will do my probability and I will calculate what's the percentage probability that in 5 million people, I will be among the 5 people that come on. So what I mean is that 5 people now in this my example are like jobs that you can get remotely that are not tech related. But you want like the tech related kind of job. One thing comes to your mind: you need soft skill. And good enough, our partner organization, the sponsor of this our podcast, Data Tracker, they have that platform too where people learn. Okay, so you could pick up skills, you could pick up courses. All right, so with time, in a minute, I'll probably bring that up, bring their platform up, and see how we can guide people to do. Because there's something also Regina said in the last episode we did. She was saying something about LinkedIn learning path.
Yeah.
Okay, so as an experienced trainer, I will tell you for free. One thing I've noticed about some people, 10 out of 100, they want to learn. They've had that IT base, they've had that IT is whatever, but how? That big question is how? How do we go about it? You understand? Some people have also tried. Put 200k here, learn Cisco, it no work. Put 150k here, learn Oracle, it no work.
So, leave us alone, even though.
I think straight bullets, because
even though.
So it no work, no mean say it no dey work.
It dey work.
It dey work actually. But you just need that mentorship. You need people to understand.
To hold your hands, yeah.
To hold your hand, to put you to say, okay, you've done this course. You can apply for this type of jobs. If you want more opportunities, add this other course to what you planned. Do you understand? So people need that kind of guidance. That's where the Data Tracker, our partners here, they can come in. So in a minute, I will actually also direct people on how to apply to these jobs. Okay? I mean the remote jobs right now. So it's
Okay.
I think I just thought of it. It's not just enough to just tell people we have Fiverr, we have Upscale, Upworks, we have Flex Jobs and the rest of them. I'll do a demo of how they could get on the site, put the full URL of this site, then do a demo of how they can register for the jobs. So now you know the idea of what that would do for them. When you go to a remote job site website, by the time you get in and you see the first 20 jobs, it's only you that will tell yourself that I need to go and learn. See, there are different ways now to kill a rat. So when they see the jobs that are being published as remote jobs, they would have to tell themselves that, okay, if I must qualify for one of these remote jobs, I need to
These are the
maybe
skills I'm lacking.
soft skills that are
Soft skills
marketable,
that
the
I'm
data
lacking.
analysis, the data sciences, the database administrators, the web programmers, the digital. So there are a lot of skills. People need to just get handy with one or two. You don't need to know everything. All right, people like
And
us, we suffered. We just learn, scatter everywhere.
I think
I
that
won't advise an enemy to go through what we went through just
yeah,
to put food on the table, right?
I,
So I'm in a system now where I see people just learn one thing and they just sit on that one thing and it's doing a lot of the people are living the good life, what we term the good life, and they just learn one thing, But the Nigerian.
Okay. So basically, what we're trying to see right now is we're trying to see get a hand of the top 10 remote job sites available all over. So regardless of where you are, be in Africa, Asia, Europe, if you need a remote job, UK, US, if you need a remote job, you could always check out this top 10 remote job site. So we have on the top of things, we have Flex Jobs. Okay, so how do you access FlexJob? www.flexjob.com, remoteok.com, Upwork, www.upwork.com, Indeed. So with the Indeed, you have the ukindeed.com. You also have the general Indeed.com, which is www.indeed.com. We have the Work Remotely. So we Work Remotely is also a job site for remote job. It's different from Remote OK. That's fine. It's different from Remote OK. That their own is weworkremotely.com. Justremote.co. That's .co. Okay. Virtual Vocations in www.virtualvocations.com. JobPresso, another good site, is jobpresso.co. Working Nomads, working-nomads.com, receptics.com, and LinkedIn, of course, LinkedIn, a familiar guy, linkedin.com. So basically, we can just see how their look and feel is. This is for Upwork. So for Upwork, you could see how their interface looks like. If you remember, you just need to log in. If you're not a member, you sign up. Upworks have a lot of jobs. So looking at the interface, you can see by default, we've not started searching for jobs, but you can see most of them are actually tailored to the tech area. However, you have jobs in finance, accounting. You also have jobs in writing and translation. It's also available jobs available for you if you want remote job. However, you have development. So let's just look at it basically. Finance and accounting, you can see they have 204 jobs. Okay, but when you're looking at development and IT, you're looking at 1,853 jobs. All right. Design creative 968 jobs. AI is 294 skills job that they need. Sales and marketing. So you can see that tech jobs, engineering too. So you can see the engineering jobs. So you can get remote jobs. Okay. So with Upworks, which is a very nice platform, you could get remote jobs. But like we said, remember, why you go into IT, another reason you go into IT is because you do not need to study most of these things in school. All right, if I'm a tech professional, I can't be looking for an architectural job. I'm not an architect, it's a core profession. I can't even be looking for a medical job. I'm not a medical worker. But you can be a public administrator and get a tech job. That is the message. You could be anything and get a tech job. So then we also have other good sites. We have Receptics. So this is Receptics. This is how their interface looks like. We have Receptics. We have Working Nomads. We have Job Presso. So this is Job Presso. You can see browse for jobs. Want to reach 100,000 plus jobs before remote worker. So come here, sign in, log in, create an account, and of course do what you have to do. This is virtual vocations. Okay, this is just remote jobs. So you can see the jobs. All right. For me, I'm just even looking at it. I'm seeing senior backend manager. I'm seeing global social media manager. I'm seeing customer experience manager. I'm seeing graphics, senior software engineer, motion, senior brand. Most of these things are all tech or tech related jobs. That's why we are trying to encourage everybody coming to tech. Don't be shy, regardless of your discipline or course of study. Some people didn't even go to university to be good in technology. Come on, think, guys, think. So we work remotely. Okay, this is we work remotely. You could see their own jobs. So you just need to do. So the site is also good for employers and employees. For an employer, you want to look for employees, come in here, create an account and all that. Then you have Indeed. Of course, you have Indeed. www.indeed.jobs. Okay, so basically that's it. So we have that. We have Indeedjobs.com. So this is FlexJob. So we'll be using FlexJob as a demo to show how you could apply for these jobs. Okay, so it's nothing to be scared about. I already created an account here. However, if you want to create a new account, you can log this out and so you can say I created an account with Career Boss, so congratulations, they have an extra user in their database called Career Boss. So basically you could create if you're an already existing user, all you need to do, like we always say, is just to go in and log in. If you're a new user, all you need to do is sign up. So when we signed up, this is basically what we did. Put our first name, I put Kels, put Emma, email address, thecareerboss@gmail.com, confirm the career boss, added my password, agreed to privacy, and I signed up. That's it. So the moment you sign up, you need to be careful. Once you sign up, there's something that actually pops up. Yes, this guy. So this guy pops up and it directly pushes you to go and subscribe. Okay, so if you have the money to subscribe, of course, please support their business. It's not easy getting quality jobs over to us online, but they also have some free subscriptions. So that's the whole point I'm trying to make. They have some free subscriptions, so we could get the free jobs. All you need to, if you continue with this, is going to take you to the payment side. For instance, let's press continue so you can see. Alright, so it's looking like the site's all about trying to collect payment for the job position and all that. But then if you want to, you could just quickly delete this. Okay, delete this registration part. Just go back to flexjob.com and it takes you in. So I decided to use this particular one as the demo because it probably will be a bit tricky for people who are just first timers. See, because the truth is, a lot of people, once they come into the system, okay, and they just see payment, you've 80% of people would just turn their back and go home. People do not like where they are told to pay. So the whole idea is somebody will say, I do not have money, I'm looking for a job, and you that want to give me a job, you're telling me to bring money before I get a job. So, but then some set of people with different mentality would pay and obviously get a job. Many would turn their back. However, the good news is they have some free jobs, so you do not need to turn your back. So basically, let's just walk in straight. So you could get a job by location. You could want to filter and all that by keyword search. So I could, let's assume I'm somewhere else. I could say, okay, let me search by location. So I come here, I click just by location. What kind of jobs? Canada jobs, for instance. I could say I'm in Canada. What job title are you looking at? I'm looking at software, for instance. You can write anything. You can write anything, okay? You can write anything. You can be a writer, you could be a social media handler. Just put the job you want to put the location and search. So for remote jobs, do you want it to be fully remote? Yes, I want it to be fully remote. So you can say 100% remote job, work anywhere in the world. You can see that, very important. You need to be sure that whatever you're doing is capturing this anywhere in the world you can work, okay? Because like, remember we said there are some jobs in Canada they are remote jobs, but they want you to also be in Canada. So the job can be in Toronto, but the you yourself, you could be living in Ottawa or in Ontario. So but then it's also remote because you're not working from home. But if you want remote job that would take you anywhere in the world, that they would do your online interview and all that, and you start working for them and you start earning in foreign currency, then click 100% remote work. Alright, so job type: do you want to be an employee, freelance? I want to be an employee. Schedule: you want to ask for the schedule, full-time, part-time, flexible, alternative. I can say full-time. Career level: so this is where a lot of people try to get things a bit difficult for themselves. A lot of people, like I'm saying, a lot of people make this a bit difficult for themselves. So if you're coming from a different country, you probably could be a manager somewhere there. You're coming here, or you're looking for an online remote job, you mustn't apply as a manager if you do not see managerial jobs that suit you, or managerial jobs that are able to or willing to accept you. You could just fill in for an experience hire. Alright, you don't need to. You probably will spend maybe a few years. The moment your quality shows, you can step up to the managerial cadre and be happy. If you're an experienced hire in Nigeria, you could select something different. You could say, okay, you are going for my career level, I want entry level. Because like we said, different countries have their different formats of work and probably kind of skill set they expect you to have at a particular level. So you do not need to say, okay, I'm a senior in my country, I'm a consultant. If I come in, I must be a consultant, or if I'm working for you, I must be a consultant. That's not your goal. Your goal is to make money. Don't forget that your goal is to make extra money or any foreign currency, basically. So you could choose an entry level role, alright, to be less competitive. You can choose an entry level role anywhere in the world, an employee full time. Canada is the location and the job title is software engineer. You could now go for search. So the moment you do a search, you could see software engineer roles that are currently recruiting there in Canada for entry level. If I probably tweak this thing to, let's say I tweak this thing right now to managerial position and I search, so I can now see, I'm seeing software engineering manager, I'm seeing software engineering manager in a different company. This is a senior software engineer. Alright, so basically they are tying this position to also like a manager. So basically all you need to do, click on any of them. So once you click on them, you can now see basic details about the job, the location, where the recruiter is, or the company is, your job type, schedule, and all that. So basically this is how you apply for these jobs. It's not difficult. Please get your hands on these things and earn yourself foreign currency. Alright, so basically that's it. So we recap. We looked at so many remote job sites, and we just use Flex Jobs to do a demo on how you can apply. So basically, the process we use here, you can always recycle that process on any of the job sites we have seen. Today. All right, so that's that. All right, bye. So basically, what we are now saying is, if you've looked at all the job sites and you've seen that, okay, I need to increase the skill, I'm skill deficient, I need some soft skill, because to get most of these remote jobs, you need soft skill. I can't keep emphasizing you need soft skill. So you could, I'll just maybe show you our partners, DataNet Stracon. All you need to do is go to their website, www.datanetstracon.org. Alright, so this is their site. This is their learning site. So datanetstracon.org. Alright, www.datanetstracon.org. So straight up, you navigate to courses. So when you come here, you see that they have plethora of courses: Cisco networks, Windows Server, Oracle database, web design, ethical hacking, Java programming, project management, virtualization, CompTIA, health safety, Data Guard, Oracle Data Guard, Microsoft SQL, Exchange Server, SharePoint, SAP, Data Analytics, Data Sciences, Microsoft Azure Cloud Computing, and Amazon AWS, and Python programming, obviously. So any course you want, all you need to do, if you want and you're interested in any of these courses, to give yourself soft skill and make you qualified for a remote job, you come and start your application. So all you just need to do is fill up these forms and of course submit it. It's not so difficult. I could use this as a template: full name Kelechi Emmanuel Ikpe, mail address, I could say, okay, let me use the careerboss@gmail.com as test. Basic address, house address, Crystal Court Estate. Okay, Crystal Court Estate. Lugbe FTT. Alright, so here is your course, the course you want to do with DataNet Stracon Learning Hub. You could see, okay, I want to do a data analysis, for instance. If you want to do Oracle database, if you want to do web design, Cisco networks, any particular course, just fill it in here. Okay, so I can say data analysis. What's my occupation? And I'm an administrator. What discipline, like your course of study in university, business administration. Okay, it is very good in case you need to be counseled on the particular course you want to run. If you need a little bit of mentorship sessions, I guess they have contacts, and you could mail them or contact them and tell them your problem. Okay, so for your phone number, I guess you also need to fill up this phone number in this pattern. Okay, so if I have for instance, 08036006815. Okay, so don't just leave your phone number like this. Try and follow this for security purposes. So you can do a this, then come here, you do a that, so you can see it's been taken. All right, then all you need to do also agree. All right, agree that you are okay for them to process your application. Click I'm not a robot and cross check what you're doing, and of course you could submit. So the more you submit, you probably see a message here say they will get back to you within 24 hours. This is just for the purpose of security check, of course. Just check your detail, check what you've registered for, and of course the moment they return back to you in 24 hours, they're going to tell you about your course, your time, and your training schedule. Is that okay? So basically that's it for DataNet Stracon, our partners who help us to give us soft skill that will make us qualified or enable us to get good jobs. All right, let's return now back to the podcast.
The system, as it has made us high. No.
But then guess what? It made you push stronger, because think about it, no knowledge is wasted. You don't know when you will need this skill or when you would apply it. Like for example, I learned SQL one time as an accountant. God knows, even the person that trains me asked me, what do you want to use this for? And then tech wasn't very popular or this thing. I don't think I learned it to the end, but guess what? It was years later. I had to do something on database, and I realized that, oh, okay, this makes sense, like everything. And I didn't think it was going to be useful to me. So no skill is wasted. So please, if you're a Nigerian or this thing, continue learning everything. You don't know where you need it.
And I think that another thing I wanted to basically mention is that the data net that Casey has mentioned, I think it's a good way for you to basically be part of a platform where you have a community of learners and you guys can all grow together. So it's important that when you go to the site and you feel like you need skills, reach out to them as well. I think Kelechi is also going to flash out how to, if you want to apply for any course and all of that.
Yeah.
Then another thing is, if you see a job, one of the things, there's this fear I need to put out there first, that when you see a job and you see the descriptions and you're like, I don't think I can do this and all of that. If you look at a job description and at least 3 or 4 of what they have mentioned is something you are familiar with, go ahead and make an application while you begin to learn the other things. The thing is, I'm going to tell you this for free. We all are learning every day.
True.
Right? We are learning every day. So there is no like this person is all mastered in everything. The thing is, another thing with IT that I've seen is that when you are feeling like you are comfortable with what you are doing, they will bring another one.
Something else.
You have to start
back to the drawing board
from the beginning, and it will seem like you've not learned anything before. So should you stop yourself from getting that dream job just because you feel like description is too much? So once they flash this or the website and all of that, don't stop yourself. Once you feel like something you have been doing and some of the skills you can attempt it, go ahead and make an application. Reach out to them if you need to be helped with your CV. I think they also provide resume advice as well. You can reach out to them and they will help you on how to go with that one. So I just feel I should add that.
Regina, that was very, very, very spot on. That was very, very spot on. So it's good that even in career buzz, people are getting to hear where experts are saying, yes, sometimes the job description could be overwhelming, right? And you're looking at yourself and you're like, can I do this one? Can I know there's one, especially when you're maybe in this our area. Sometimes I say IT is like setup.
Intimidation.
You do not want to get a job today and you go and do Thanksgiving in church. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Hey. By next week or 2 weeks, if you are not performing, they will not sack you. You will not still go back to that church and go and say, praise the Lord, they sacked me. You will not be depressed for years. Even your pastor will say, what is happening? So that because we are in that sector where you see a job description, you just feel like, if I don't know this thing end to end, I shouldn't apply. But guess what? Just as Regina said, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know parts. If you're also lucky, you're going into an organization, you may have maybe one manager or two. One thing in this area that we are, in this part of the world, if somebody calls yourself your manager, somehow the person tends to know enough, maybe more than you. Like, yes, unlike in Nigeria, we're not throwing shades, but we're just trying to say how it is in different climes. You could.
I'm going on mute. I'm muting myself.
You could. Yes, now in Nigeria we have those such situations where the manager is just doing 10% of the work and you are doing. So in Nigeria we take managerial position as Lord and Mighty, meaning you can't do that.
Managerial position in Nigeria is like I am the head of the house. I'm the man.
I'm the man of the house.
I'm the man.
That's like. But here you see your manager, like your manager is almost getting to director level. If push comes to shove, he will fold this thing. Come on, bring this thing, let me do it. They are hands on. So that whole cut out, in Nigeria we believe that once you get to management cadre, you cut out fully from technical hands-on, and you start doing business. Here they find a way to manage business and tech, because before you get to that, that's why you see a lot of people, if you've gotten to a managerial level in Nigeria, when you come down here, you are stepped down, kind of. So people don't understand that logic. You understand? So we'll talk about some of these things maybe in a different pod, but then these are the things that you need to understand. If you are coming into an organization and you are not the only person, of course, you know that people will also be there to guide you. They will not teach you everything. If I would also mention another thing I've noticed in Nigeria, your interview is like maybe 50% difficult, but the work is 200% difficult. So the work will kill you, it will choke you. But yeah, the interview is 200%.
You're gonna faint.
It will choke you. The interview, yes, that's why you hardly cross. People don't get. It's okay if you trying to go in as a junior, you can be a junior, whatever. But the senior roles, if you are senior in Nigeria or somewhere else and you maybe come over here, before you get to that same senior, like you need to be very, very, because the interview will choke. But when you start the job, you see that they try to, give you safe landing. For myself, I will speak for myself. For some reason, my team just felt like, this guy. No, so the truth is, when you are smart and when you are good, they know that you are good. But because they also have experience that, okay, you've changed countries, so some things that they'll just be like, okay, let's help this guy. So you don't resume today and tomorrow they are giving you tasks like implement this, go and do this or else, shake your bands out, those kind of. They probably give you like a couple of weeks to settle in.
Work mindset and culture is something that is different. So the work mindset and culture in the abroad, let me use that word, is different from what you have in most organizations in Nigeria. And even the organizations that are supposedly, maybe let's say international organization in Nigeria, the Nigerian blood has entered small.
True.
So you will still see certain threats of all of those things. And looking at the comment of managers and all of that has been stepped down when they come abroad, I think the culture of not learning again, I don't be Oga, is what is killing a lot of people. And I feel like, and that's why I mentioned that not just only in tech, you to grow in this life, you must have a mindset of continuous learning.
I agree.
Non-stop.
Don't ever tell yourself that you've arrived. It's scam. If they tell you that you have arrived, they're bringing you down. Always, see yourself like, I will continue to. And if you have that mindset, and I think that's what Kelechi is trying to say, that they know, when they see you, they know that this one wants to know better. This one, if we give this one time, it would learn and it would be better. No, you're not. But when you now do like you have arrived, and that's one thing that killed most people from our place, because they feel like I've no more skill. I've been able to build one website. They don't want to look at what is trending again about website creation. They don't want to look at what are the newer things I can do. How do I scale up my skills to ensure that I meet up with what the market needs at the moment? Oh, I'm a web developer. What is going on within web now? What do I need to know as a front end, a back end developer? Oh, things are changing every day and the market is fast paced. So if you are not learning and you don't have an open mind to learning, you'll be left behind, and by the time you realize yourself, they will step you down. You'll be junior for manager, you'll be doing junior job, because when they weigh your content and what you have, there is no way that you can deliver on that. So I think it's important to put that at the back of your mind. If you decide to get a remote job or anything more, understand the fact that you must have an open mind to continue learning. No arrival mentality, only continuous learning mentality.
I've seen people, to add to what Regina is saying, I've seen people in Nigeria that are developers, they have that mindset. I code only with Python. If you come here, Python job no day. What if Python job no day? Go learn .NET. Go. This is what we are saying. So we're not saying, like I always say, Nigerians are the smartest people. But in Career Boss here, we are saying everything as it's like we are trying to talk
so that you can know,
so that people can understand.
The
I know
areas
people
where
that
you
will say
need
I
to.
only develop with .NET. I'm C sharp. So you are going to you somebody tell you build an app, but because of our database system, we want the app to be in the same sync and no. So we need you to they'll tell you no, like I can't. I'm sorry, I can't do the job. Then when you come over here, if you do not see Python development job,
You
if they say
learn.
it's only C sharp, you not go learn.
You
So
will
that
learn.
is where the learning here is strong. So when you come in, like I can guarantee you that maybe 10% of the 100 that you know in Nigeria, maybe 10%, you will meet a 10% that you've not used before. We're not saying that if you put mind to purpose or you like for me, by the grace of God, I have that part. I can just if I don't know something because I've not looked at it, right?
Yeah.
Once I settle down, I look at it, I will do it, right? So, but it's because we are in that family of we want to learn. If my colleagues are doing something, even if I understand, I just want to I just want to learn. I want to know what they are doing. I'm inquisitive. I want to know. I don't feel comfortable you doing something near me and I don't know what you are doing. It mustn't be my job for me to want to know. I don't need to know it the way you know it. I
Because
just
it's
need to
your
know it just to feel okay.
Learn
At least
something
I can say
new.
one or two things about. So that learning mentality, like Regina said, when you come here, if you've thrown that cap away in Nigeria, say you be man of the house. When you come here,
you
I
drop
am
your
man of
shoulder.
the office. This
You
thing,
drop your shoulder.
they go break unless you want go to do iron condemn because if you if you go
Not today, not today.
if the desired job is not available, the available job becomes desirable. You go write am like that, oh. Then you will not be doing the iron condemn. You will not be telling people that I'm a developer. Oh. You will not be looking which kind of developer they do iron condemn job. They're not gonna say the language where you sabi. They not get that maybe opportunity here, and you don't want to learn a new language to help yourself scale up.
It's important.
That is the problem.
It's
I
important.
feel like
This thing
I need
we
to
are
put a
laughing with, right? It's
disclaimer.
actually very important. What?
I feel like I need to put a disclaimer because now you're telling people you don't understand nowadays from a recruiting perspective. Some people don't even have one. For example, you see a development job and then you cannot do anything and you apply and you see
There's this guy on Instagram that I saw a video. It was very funny, and the guy was like, he had applied for this job. He had lied that he knows how to do the job. So the first day of job, he was sweating, like, do the job. Yeah. So
so
there are so many
exactly.
cases. There are so many cases like this. And to go back a bit on faith, right? There's something that my pastor always says. He says that when God give you a job that you know that you don't merit, you know.
In your
Say it and
heart.
do this in this interview for me. There's no way I would have cursed. That the mercy of God is what gave me this job. That when God gives you the job, it is now your responsibility to bend your head and learn, so that you don't you don't disgrace God, because God looks the person like, oh, let me pity the father, the mother, or the people around you, so that nobody suffer will not kill us, and gave you that job. So it's now your responsibility. So there are scenarios where the grace of God can package you and
Yes.
put you somewhere. In those scenarios, when you enter there, instead of sweating, learn, burn the candles to ensure that you are fit for the role. But really, there's so many opportunities in remote
Thank you
work,
for
to be honest.
balancing that out because I'm sorry, like all I was hearing, like some people just like, oh, I heard this, let's go and apply.
No, there's really nothing we can do apart from, I think it's important to mention that there is a God factor in everything. And
Yeah.
Kelechi himself is a very spiritual person. So there's a God factor in everything that says that we are candidates to get things out of mercy and out of grace, even the things that we do not expect that would get. But when that time comes, maybe like now, Kelechi flash the remote job, you apply, you just scale, angels of God cover your ass, cover you, you got the job. please, it's important that you have to basically, you can use that time to quickly even apply for training while you are doing your job. Nobody will know you are doing these things, but by all means, don't disappoint God that gave you that job. You must
There
learn.
was somebody in Nigeria. We worked together. We worked on a project. Regina may know that person. The project, a solution we were doing. He was doing the training in the night. When the night reach, he will turn to student. Once day have come, he will carry bag and come and turn to consultant.
But at least
Stories
he's
there.
showing up with results.
Oh, stories there. Now, right now, the guy is doing very well. Now he's in Canada. He's doing very well. So we've seen people burn the candle. You understand? Sometimes, like Regina said, sometimes you may get a job that even if you think you are deserving of it, but you know that you don't understand all the job description. Don't just go and fold your hand and sleep. You understand? Your first priority when you get a job is to look for the gray areas, the areas that you don't know or you are not so comfortable with, and begin to, because there must be a day of reckoning. And I used to tell people there must be a day of reckoning. That your salary they are paying you, at a point you need to justify why you are earning that much.
Yes.
Do you understand? So if 1 month may pass, 2 months may pass, you'll be thinking, so that's what this just takes sweet. I just collect good money. But a time will come where all the honors will be on you and they'll tell you, Tayo, you need to perform. Tayo, you need to deliver. So, but if the Tayo has been, drilling herself, preparing beforehand, when that day come for you to deliver, it will not be hard for you to deliver. It will not be hard. For most of us, we have jotters. So me, I may read something that is not related to what I'm doing. Once I see that, this thing is sweet, I will just, you see Regina jotter, I'll just carry it, save it in my system. I've locked it. 3 years from that day, call me and tell me this particular thing. I'll say, don't worry.
I have it somewhere.
I have it somewhere. Even if that place I copied it from, if that blog, they shut the blog down. Don't worry.
You have your copy.
I have my copy of that blog. I will implement that thing. So the people need to know. So as we are talking of remote job, we are trying to encourage people now to go and apply for remote jobs, especially when you are maybe in African countries. You can't. I don't know how much the economy wants to pay, very serious-minded individuals. So this whole idea of Japa, everybody must know Japa. If you're comfortable in Nigeria, you know that money is just the issue, right? If you know money is just the issue, because the truth is, most of us that are outside there, they give us the kind of money we're earning here in Nigeria. We might likely I'm not saying we will, but I'm just I cannot speak for everybody.
You cannot speak for me. You cannot speak for me.
Like serious. Think about it.
You never
exactly how much you earn in Nigeria with standard of living.
Banana Island.
And I'm saying you can live anywhere. How much is money? It's not
getting the remote job.
When we are having videos like this, I'm always very careful at this. I say, well, I don't know the angel that is passing. I say, I heard it. The angel that said, no, angel, I love where you have kept me. I love it, Lord. I've always thanked you for this position. I really love it here. You people will not force me to change my mind.
Well, if you must dine with the big boy, like they say, you need to do the big things. You need to study, right? Most of us, Regina tries to go spiritual, but this Regina, I know her very well, right? I've known her over the years. She's someone that is dedicated, someone that is hardworking. She's someone that puts minds to purpose and all that. So I'm speaking, I'm putting a disclaimer now on this thing we are saying, just for the spiritual people that will come and, there are some people that will listen to this on our podcast now, and the only thing they will pick is Regina said, God can give you a job that is undeserving. But the truth is, the person that said this thing now on the pod, if you see her CV, you will give her the job. But use prayer now, use God factor to garnish it. Then some people will now still come and that God factor she said is the only thing they will pick and say, yes, Regina said we can get jobs that are undeserving of. Then when you get the job and you do testimony on Sunday, by next Sunday they sack you. You become you now say God is not faithful. God is faithful, now play your part because faithfulness is two ways. I cannot be faithful to you and you're not faithful to me. Do you understand? Even in the Bible, yes, you need to walk. Yes, let's put that disclaimer. People need to be. I've put that in our footstep because I know the kind of circle of friends and family we belong to. We are so religious in Africa. So people will pick this religious part and leave the part that we are saying.
So I think in all what you're saying is let's balance it out. Learn.
Yes.
No, I think I want to add something to what you said. Honestly, right? Our circle of friends, we are very, very, we are very dedicated at what we do. To be honest, I think that but I felt there's a need to still mention that factor, right? That it's possible. But remember I said when that happens, it now becomes your duty to go to data and extract and contact them and say, I want to learn this thing. Do what Kelesha said. The story talked about somebody we worked with that we learn in the night and come and do consulting job in the morning. Learning. We are laughing about these things, but these are real life scenarios. Great advice that you really need to take and all of that. And like you said, me too. I don't used to joke. I don't used to joke with my work, So please don't joke with yours. Don't say because God is an excellent God. Though. Let us even go there. So you can't even use God to come and be a failure. No. Tell God to help you to learn. Tell God to help you to study and all of that. Yeah. And I think I can add a few things to the things I feel like people have complained about why it's difficult for them to study tech, age, So you hear some Nigerians will tell you that they don't hold, nobody they think of again and all of that. Brothers and sisters in the Lord, you have to rethink it. If you want the money in something, you must rethink it. And if you need grace, that's where the spiritual part comes in. Grace to study, grace to learn, grace to be able to be excellent at what you're doing. That is important. But you must do it to be able to make the impact that you want to make. So just to balance what I said, so that you don't go and say, Regina said, go and look for my profile and check and say, see the person they tell us say this one. No.
But Regina, since you're on the whole tech subject, so let's clarify. Some people always ask this question: that do you need to code to be in tech?
No,
there's so many jobs that are not tech. There's Kelechi mentioned some social media manager, technical writer, community manager. There is but some of these jobs would require that you understand code, you're able to read code. Not that you are the one doing the coding, but when you look at a code, you can tell what happens here and what is required here. That's another skill. And so there are jobs like developer advocates, there's community director, there's community manager, there's community lead. Even all these things, even if they're dealing with tech communities, but most of them, they will require that you have a little bit of experience understanding code. Not that you would code, but understanding code, the social media manager and all of that. So I think that one of the things I would advise, if you want to do anything non-technical within the tech space, understand basic coding stuff, algorithms, just few things, just to get yourself acquainted with what is happening,
because the truth is, in reality, you are using more of the front end.
Yes.
You're using the front end. You're using application interface, the UI interface. You don't really need to code. Everybody must know. If everybody codes, who will do Cisco networking? Who will do data analysis? Who will do who will do server infrastructure? Who will do cloud management? So there are a lot of things to do. So as a matter of fact, coding is like 5% of the whole ICT. So you can find purpose in the remaining 95 if coding
Yes.
is a problem. And there's a reason why we push people to tech. This thing came to mind and I need to say it. Tech is one of the areas in life where you could sit on it, earn big, and do not necessarily need to study it in the university or anywhere. Do you understand? I did not study computer science or information technology. I studied electrical electronics engineering.
You even did electrical electronics.
Regina, tell them what you do.
Public administration.
Regina did public admin.
Let me wear my glasses very well. Can you see?
Please, Regina, say it again. People on the pod.
Public administration.
Now look at our profile. Does our profile look like somebody that read public administration? Because the regular public administrators I know, we finish school and we're waiting for one government job. That
At least I did something. At least we did something in FRS.
Yes. So people just feel like this tech. I'm not a tech person. Nobody is a tech person. Everybody came into the tech space because that space was. If I did not go into tech, I would be doing a job, switching transformer. I did that transformer. Yes, I did that transformer job.
I was still at FRS with Imam. Them I was like this.
I did transformer job in my industrial training internship. I know that power. That was where I knew that power was not for me. I knew from there. So from when I graduated, I just put head in telecom IT and I found myself in core IC. So people need to know if you want to earn the kind of money maybe tech people earn everywhere in the world, you probably need to be a doctor, you need to be a nurse. I cannot wake up one morning and be a nurse. I need to go to school and read it. I cannot wake up one morning and be a doctor. I need to go to school and spend 5, 6, 7 years and do it. But I can be a tech person from nowhere and earn up to what these guys, or even more in some cases, what they are earning by just picking up courses here and there and getting yourself skills, upskill yourself.
And I think that as you even begin to pick a course, you would find out. That's why it's important to go to DataNet Track. I'm sure you guys are flashing the website and all of that. Make some inquiries. Let them guide you because sometimes you may think that I'm very good with this. I want to do web development and something you would like to do, maybe even databases. So try to let them guide you, let them look at your interests. I think one of the things that changed my life was when I was doing my program years back. I think looking back now, it's going to be 12 years when I did this matter. But anyway, so I was looking back and I remember we were like in a hall and they came and met us. Then I just finished my university. Then I knew that my life was a mess because I did part-time. So they just told us after we have graduated University of Jos that will not serve. Let me give anybody hope that thinks you cannot be anything with without NYSC. So they just told us that we are not going to serve. I was asking myself, how would I go tell my father to have told all his townspeople that my daughter has finished, they're waiting for me to wear khaki.
One will graduate. One
will graduate. That's how we wear khaki. Hey, so I went, I someone called, I told them, I said, no service from you. Everywhere my father went to look for a job, they told him, did she serve? You don't serve nothing. So I was frustrated. This frustration that took me to IT. So when I got there, they said, okay, so they flashed courses at our faces, like they'll say content developer. Let me give an example, software designer, and they just flashed Linux administration and databases. I just my mind just I can do this one. By then they explain what it is about. I said I can do it. Do I even have a choice? Me that I will not go for service and I'm looking for where to hide my life, right? So I'm being open here so that it's a good time to talk about it. But that's basically how my journey started. Before I know it, Kelechi, do you know as I finished that training, I got my first job as a faculty databases. I couldn't believe it. So fast, and then people were saying that this thing you are doing, even my father doubted this thing now, these database things I did though. That how many people are doing this IT? Who build people? What is database? What are you doing? What are you doing? All of us that we did that course that time, almost now they're looking at my blood like, so what am I trying to say? It's not tech gives you an endless opportunity.
Very
Like you
true.
you can't say the things I'm doing now are not the things I thought I would do. I think you watched
Some
our
years ago.
previous videos, you would see where we talked about what changes and all of that in career. But one thing that tech gave me is the ability to learn again and again. Like there's this belief that I can learn today, learn tomorrow, learn new things. Just give it to me. I am going to sit down. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I think it's important that you know that you really don't have to come from a tech space. You really don't have to feel like tech is for me. No. If I felt like tech is not for me years ago when I couldn't serve, it was not after I had finished when I was already in FRS or so, when we are doing that consulting with Sojima. That was when they sent us our there's this certificate, they call it exemption,
Yes.
NYC exemption letter. That's when we got the exemption letter. I looked at the exemption letter. It wasn't, at least for now, until when I need to do something in government. It wasn't important again at the time, because I was like, I'd gone far with my life journey that all of these things, when I needed them, they are not there. So no matter, I don't know what I'm encouraging. No matter the situation you feel you find yourself around, you can sit down, learn again, and begin to build your journey from there. Me, I believe that if I can do it in that terrain where everybody that went to did youth service are like the best in the industry. In fact, I used to look at myself like a leper. And did you youth service? I would like this. I'll hide myself, because it was more like if you did not do youth service, you cannot get anywhere. But tech is
You defy
tech.
the odds, Regina. You deserve some. You deserve. I don't know why.
So, but I just feel
I've
like I
known
should let
Regina
you
for
guys.
years. I've known Regina for years, and this is the first time I'm hearing this story.
Yes, honestly, I didn't do youth service.
Exclusive on Career Boss. Regina. Another round of applause.
So just to let you know that take your opportunity with your tech. Contact Data Next Track on. Tell them you want to start your journey, and you'll be amazed at what you'll be. When you look back 2 years from today that you're watching this video, you will not believe what would happen to
The
you.
man that believes that,
Thank you.
there are some people, when you are selling something to them, they'll be like, is it working on your body? Because in Nigeria they'll say possession and possession and ownership are not the same thing. So you see somebody selling handkerchief in hold up in Nigeria, and in the sweat, they feel the handkerchief for a face, but in the sell am too. That is not the situation in tech space. So, but then if you want to think about the top 20 richest people in the world, a huge core of them are from technology.
Yeah.
They made their money from technology. So we're not, like we are saying, we're not pushing everybody to tech. We're only saying if you want, the door is really open. Like, because every day new things are coming on, so you don't even need to go
so
and
many
start
problems
from the beginning. Start from as you are entering, start from the place you are entering. That's your start date. That's why in university they have start date, they have end date, they have graduation. Start first. Don't go and be say, Casey, Regina, this people have gone far. The far we went is we started from where we started from. Some people started before us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? We started where we started. We want people, and another very good thing is, there is no price tag to IT service.
No.
Sure.
There's no price tag. That Tayo, me and Tayo, we are of the same skill set, and maybe she built a website for 1 million. Does not mean I cannot build my website for 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? It's not commodity goods we are selling here. That Standard Organization of Nigeria based price control, PPRA, want to now come and say, Casey, you cannot. I'm selling service. So I would sell my service the way I think I value it. You get? So that's why you say a lot of people in the tech space, they make a lot of money. I know people want to ask why you are pushing people to tech. They were not saying come and read and suffer and be broke. We are saying come and read and be successful, because that is the end point. Honestly, I'm an Igbo guy. if money not there, where this thing will they do? Now one but I go, hey, I don't cover. If money not, I don't. That's what am I doing now? What am I doing? So we just need to put that out there. But like we said, you don't need to be a tech person. We're only saying if you're a normal person, like Regina is a public administrator, she came into tech. She's a very, very good example, a very good role model for people who have that kind of mindset. I did business admin, I did psychology. It's not my tech, it's not my thing. Because ego like a psychology guy, how much as a psychologist, we're not throwing shades, we are just trying to give you more reasons why you guys should come.
I can tell you that there's some psychologists that earn a lot.
Yes, a lot of them earn. And as I said a lot, you remember that example?
Our video is
5 out of 5 million.
Our video is targeted at mostly people, from our place, that we know that these opportunities are not so much.
They're not so much. A psychologist in Nigeria. Are you?
You cannot be a psychologist in Nigeria, and
the good thing is that you can be doing tech, and in that tech, build an app that will help psychologists. And
very true.
So the tech, and like I said, there's endless possibilities inside. Whatever it is you are doing, you can do it. You can involve tech in it and make it outstanding.
Those are the people we call them business. What do we call them again? The middlemen between
integration
tech users and the business
mitigation.
Madam Bibi knew them in FI. What do we call them?
Analysts.
Business analysts. So you can learn tech and be a technical business analyst. Like, people need to understand, if your head not too carry for code, like as she said now, you cannot build an app, it's difficult for you to have the mentality to build an app if you don't even understand that you can build an app.
So you can also be in the medical line and you've learned medicine and you feel like, tech is calling me, and what is calling you is to come and build something with technology that is going to help medicine. So it's an endless opportunity. I think away from the fact that we are just talking about it, I think it's important that you are aware of what possibilities are there with technology. It's not just about coding, it's about getting that dreams that you have in your heart to happen, and you have to do the work.
So in rounding up, let's go back to why we are here. So Casey, please remind us what site, or if you can do a demo on where they can find remote jobs, and also that, because we know that you have given us all the advice, but the main reason why we're here for the, so that we can be earning
inside scoop.
Yes. How much I want to be earning dollars, pounds, and not the other currency.
No worry, we'll sort that out. I'll do it, and I'll put it inside I'll put it out. Don't worry, I'll do that.
Okay.
I won't do it on the pod, but I'll do it.
No problem, you just put it there.
Yeah.
All right then. So our final question. I'll start with Regina. Which do you prefer? Remote, hybrid, or physical?
I think from what I've been talking about since, moving your leg, moving around, trying to get I think you should already now know. Why do I feel like I'm talking too much today?
Oh God. Oh Carambos.
I'm sure they should be wondering what is going on today.
No, it's Carambos. Carambos is in the magic. People are here for the inside scoop. That's what people that our listener audience, they don't want to hear the regular things. They want to hear this too.
So I think from everything I've been saying, you should know by now what I want. It's hybrid. I want to be able to move out. I don't want. But where it is that I want to, there's the money is my focus, and priorities for me can change depending on what I want to achieve and the goal of that thing. So I'm not like a one one, like this is it.
One
It has to be
person.
hybrid. But if I want to get something done and I know that if I do this thing for 1 year, this is the amount I would get. If you ask me to sit down one place, I will sit down, just bring coffee and things that will make me move on. So I think for me, if it's about the money and if it's about the money and the money says it's full time remote, why not? I will do it, right? And I'll find a way to balance myself.
Very
So
true.
I wouldn't say that I have like a preference. My preferences depends on what I want to achieve at that particular year. But I think that hybrid goes a very long way in helping, your mental state. If it's a job that you're going to stay in for a very long time,
Long time.
where it's important to have these little interfaces where needed. It might not be monthly, it might be quarterly, but I think it's important to have that little interfaces with your team and all of that.
Fair enough then. Thank you. Kelechi, hybrid, remote, physical. What's your preference?
Remote.
Look
No
at
long
the
story.
CEO. Look at the CEO that said at the beginning.
I'm
that
telling
he wants to
you.
do remote. They
I
are now
said he's
changing.
speaking from a CEO's point of view now.
You cannot.
Now I'm
Kelechi,
speaking
you
from
cannot change.
Kelechi's point of view. It's Kelechi that is talking.
No. You cannot change.
I think if I were to be a CEO, I want my staff to be coming into the office, but not
You would
me.
you would not do remote, Kelechi. You go to the office
No,
full time
the
working in office.
but
Every
for
day.
Regina, over
9
time,
to 5.
over time, I perform well when I'm in a locked space. Like,
Yeah, I remember the way Kelechi would just go and sit down on his seat. Only him. He would do like
you
this with
understand?
his
So,
laptop. I will go and sit down beside him, sit on his table, and be disturbing him. I'm sure that he will not be what is going on here. Leave me alone.
so that is me actually. I just
Yeah.
want to stay in my home and get the job done. And when I'm done, that instead of Regina will decide to stroll, me I can decide to play bass guitar or play PlayStation. But I don't need to stroll to make. I can, as you are playing, your hand is moving. So that exercise of walking around for Regina, I can use it to, So I will still
I'm
be
sorry, your hand exercise is different from your leg. Like I don't understand how
that you are inside remote, that you are doing remote job does not mean you sit down in your workstation all the days of your life. Man. You enter kitchen and you go and cook, you go and do it. But a lot of small in-house movements. It have knocked off the need to.
No, it hasn't. You've not bought enough calories.
Using your body. I'm telling you of my body.
How many kilometers? Your house
And
has
the-
football field.
Yes,
What are you saying?
It's remote.
Your house, how many
As
square
in-
meters be your house? Now
As-
football field.
I have treadmill. I don't need to see remote for me. Remote does.
Treadmill. Kelechi,
Remote does the
Kelechi,
job.
go out, take a walk.
Remote does the job.
Take
And
a walk.
they said if you do one of the advantages of going is network, which is very true. But at this my age now, I'm not old, but then all the people, I don't know what I've used the network.
you're not using it well. You're not maximizing it
I don't
well.
know what I've used the network to do. Numbers are just on my phone.
Kelechi, I'm one of the network. I'm one of the network.
Okay.
I'm one of the network.
I'll give that to you.
I will take Amplan. I will take it. Then if Kelechi call you, people don't answer because he say nothing.
Exactly. Oh, and then people that are watching the podcast now, you're telling them what are you using the network for. Wow. I think you should apologize in advance.
Kelechi, I'm one of the network. After today, you see what I'll do to you.
The truth is, if I did a remote job in Nigeria, and Regina, you did a remote job in Nigeria, it does not mean we will not still be friends. Why people sounding like remote job mean you're working alone by yourself for yourself
I'm
now?
sorry. I think the point is the only reason why
It's
you were
because
friends
it's-
with this instance was because it was not a remote job. Because remote job, highest, we're signing into the meetings, we're like, hey, hi, we're done, and we've logged out. Technically, you don't have any, you will not build any relationship. You don't even know how, and you just really don't give a hoot about the person.
You want us to be doing village meeting inside the office now? That
We did village meeting when we were in
So
FRS.
at this point, this is where I'm going to. At this point, this is where we'll call it a day. Because,
all right, guys.
anyways, thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
all
you.
for this. It was really an eventful and insightful day.
Please
Bye.
subscribe to Career Boss. Subscribe and
Subscribe. Help us.
basically
Like,
Um,
share.
so that we can keep giving them this good content.